أن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه أما بعد فإن خير الكلام كلام الله وخير الهدى هدى رسول الله محمد بن عبد الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned in the Qur'an in Surah Al-Ra'd, the thunder, يَمْحُ اللَّهُ مَا يَشَاءُ وَيُثْبِتُ وَعِنْدَهُ الْكِتَابِ. Verily Allah wipes away whatever He wants to wipe away, and He establishes whatever He wants to establish. This ayat is one of the many ayat that describe some of the characteristics of Allah Azza wa Jal. He wipes away what He wants to wipe away. He'll wipe a group of people away. He'll wipe the history of a group of people away. He'll wipe your memory away. He wipes away whatever He wants to wipe away. And He establishes whatever He wants to establish. That ayat forms the basis of what we want to discuss with you here today, coupled with the authentic hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Hudayf ibn al-Yaman, may Allah be pleased with him and his father, he said that the Nabi said sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wasallam, يدرس الإسلام كما يدرس وش الثوب حتى لا يدرى ما صيام ولا صلاة ولا نسك ولا صدقة ويسرى على كتاب الله تعالى في ليلة واحدة حتى لا يبقى في الأرض منه آية. He said, verily al-Islam is going to fade away and it's going to disappear. The same way the embroidery of your thobe fades away. A person buys a new thobe, some new clothes, a new jacket, a new hat, new shoes. At the beginning, it looks just like that, it's new. But after the wear and tear, the dye, the ink, it fades after 1 year, 2 years of being ironed, washed, and worn. He said Islam is going to fade away the way the new thobe fades away. To the point where the Muslims won't know what is salat, what is siyam, what is zakat, and what is hajj. And in one night, the Qur'an is going to be taken up. In one night. And in that one night, not one ayat of the Qur'an will remain in the earth. Muslims won't know Yasin. They won't memorize that ayat. They won't memorize Alif, Lam, Mim. There is a surah in the Qur'an called Sad. It's just one harf. They won't memorize Sad. Some of the scholars of Islam are of the opinion that Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is an ayat of the Qur'an. Every surah begins with that, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, except Surah At-Tawbah, al-Bara'ah. So some scholars said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is an ayat of the Qur'an. Muslims won't even know Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. They won't know the Salah. They won't know the Zakat. They won't know Hajj. They won't know fasting in the month of Ramadan. Previously, the religion, the legislation of the previous prophets and messengers, Allah Azza wa Jal allowed their religion to be wiped away. Christians don't know the reality of the deen of Eesaa ibn Maryam. Jews don't know the reality of the religion of Musa. Allah allowed the books that they had, the Torah, the Injil, the Zabur, the Suhuf of Ibrahim, the Suhuf of Musa, although those books were from the Kalam of Allah, Allah allowed all of them to be wiped away, forgotten, lost, tampered with, adulterated. And they were wiped away by al-Islam, Al-Islam abrogated those religions, those books. The Qur'an abrogated. Allah wipes away what He wants to wipe away, and He establishes what He wants to establish. He said in the Qur'an about Himself and the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره الكافرون. Allah is the one who sent His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Muhammad, with guidance and the religion of truth to proclaim it over all other religions. So the Nabi came sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he wiped everything else away. Nothing counts. Someone comes Yawm al-Qiyamah following Musa, following Eesaa, he's in trouble. He is in trouble. Umar radiallahu anhu was reading one of the pages from the Torah. The Nabi saw him. He said, Ya Umar, what is that? What is that you're reading? He said, this is a paper from the Torah I got from a Jewish neighbor of mine. I just wanted to read it. The Prophet's face became angry, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he said, Mutahawwikun anti ibn al-Khattab. Are you in doubt now? Are you weak now, Umar? He said, Wallahi, if my brother Musa came right now and you people followed Musa and you left me, you're going to go astray, because the Nabi wiped their religion away. In Sahih al-Bukhaaree, the Nabi said about himself, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Ana Muhammad wa Ahmed wal Mahi wal Hashir wal Aqib. He said, I have these names. My name is Muhammad, my name is Ahmed, my name is al-Mahi, which means to wipe things away. My name is al-Hashir, and my name is Aqib, al-Aqib. The point is the name al-Mahi, He wipes away. Just as this religion al-Islam that we know wiped away the previous religions, Allah is going to allow al-Islam to be wiped away. This religion, to the point that the Muslims won't know anything about this religion. And we're living during that time right now. If you, Abdullah, were to go to the mothers of the people in this masjid right here, this masjid, the mothers who are living, the wives of the people in this masjid, I'm not talking about some other masjid, this masjid, if we go to our mothers, if we go to our aunties and we said, what are the 5 arkan of al-Islam? What is al-Islam? According to the hadith, when Jibril came to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said, Ya Muhammad, tell me, what is Islam? And the Prophet told him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the 5 pillars. You'll find a large portion of our community, they don't know those 5 pillars. And the ones who do know, they'll give them backwards. They'll say Hajj, and then Zakat, and then Siyam, and then Shahada. They won't know because it's not a part of the DNA of the Muslim to know that basic simple question. That basic simple, and that's because even our children, that's because, not to put anyone down, this is the reality of what's happening to this ummah. In this religion, al-Islam, the scholars of Islam looked at this Qur'an, the ulama of al-hadith, ulama of the sunnah. I'm not talking about ulama of kufr and shirk and bid'ah. I'm talking about the ulama of the sunnah and hadith. They looked at that Qur'an and they said, based on the message of the Qur'an, al-Islam has 3 ingredients in terms of its meaning. And please listen to this, because if one of these ingredients is missing in a person's Islam, something is wrong. They said al-Islam is al-istislam lillahi ta'ala bit-tawheed wal-inqiyadu lahu bit-ta'a wal-bara'atu min ash-shirk wa ahlihi. Al-Islam is submitting yourself to Allah with tawheed and doing what Allah told you to do. And number 3, separating yourself from ash-shirk and the mushrikeen. If one of these are missing, there's a problem. There are Muslims who submit to Allah. I'm a Muslim, I submit to Allah. But they don't submit to Allah with tawheed. In this city, Bradford, one of the biggest cities in this country, the vast majority of masajid in this city make shirk with Allah when they say, Ya Allah, Ya Rasulullah. And that's the religion according to many people. That is the religion and the understanding of the deen. So they say, I'm a Muslim, I submitted to Allah. He has some submission, but he didn't submit to Allah with a tawheed, magic, a ta'weez. He didn't submit to Allah with tawheed, making dua to dead people in the grave, believing that other people know the ghaib other than Allah. He didn't submit to Allah with tawheed. He doesn't understand that death, Allah is the only one who doesn't die. وَكُلُّ مَنْ عَلَيْهَا فَانٍ وَيَبْقَى وَجْهُ رَبِّكَ ذُو الْجَلَالِ وَالْإِكْرَامِ وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ هَالِكٍ إِلَّا وَجْهُهُ وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى حَيِّ الَّذِي لَا يَمُوتُ. Ayat after ayat after ayat, a hadith that show كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةُ الْمَوْتِ. We know it without it being translated, and yet in this city, and other than this city, people will come and say, the Nabi never died. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The Nabi knows the ilm al-ghayb. So he submitted, but not with tawheed. And it's number two, doing what Allah told you to do. Allah told us to do many things. From what He told us to do at the top of the list after the tawheed, He told us to make salah. How many Muslims consider themselves Muslims and they don't pray? There's something wrong with his Islam. Doesn't wear hijab. Doesn't give zakat. Allah Ta'ala's Nabi mentioned sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, al-ahdu alladhi baynana wa baynahum as-salam in tarakaha faqad kafir. The difference between us and them is salat. Whoever doesn't pray, he is a kafir. How many Muslims don't submit with tawheed and they don't do what Allah told them to do? Doing what Allah told us to do doesn't mean we're perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody. From what Allah told us to do, when you make mistake, make tawbah. Some people don't make tawbah. It's not part of their DNA. They just live it. What's your name? My name is Muhammad. What's your religion? I'm a Muslim. No tawbah, no salat, no anything. Number three. Al-Islam is separating yourself from shirk and the mushrikeen. A Muslim can't be a Muslim until he says, Lakum dinukum waliya deen. That doesn't mean Al-Islam is against community cohesion. Doesn't mean that by any stretch of the imagination. It means when it comes to the ibadat, when it comes to the ayat, the celebrations, when it comes to identifying marks and factors, the Muslims say to non-Muslims, white, black, Jew, Christian, agnostic, atheist, lakum dinukum waliya deen. He has to have al-bara'ah. Allah revealed one of the last surahs of the Qur'an called the Tawbah. The other meaning of it, the other name of it is al-bara'ah, to be free. He said, Tabarak wa ta'ala, wa adhanum min Allahi wa rasulihi ila nasi yawm al-hajj al-akbar anna Allah wa rasuluhu bari'un min al-mushrikeen wa rasuluhu. On the day of the big hajj, the last hajj of his life, Allah revealed this ayah that Allah and his messenger are free from the mushrikeen. Meaning what? My ibadah is different from yours. Now there's a lot that can be said about this, but I just give you one example. One of the many examples how the Muslims don't draw the line and say, Lakum dinakum waliya din. And there are many, but just one, because it's prevalent. For an example, the Muslim who believes it's permissible to celebrate his birthday or the birthday of his child. He doesn't believe in Eesaa as the Ibn of Allah. He doesn't believe that. He's a Muslim. But he says, I don't see any problem with celebrating the birthday. It's just a day. I'm going to get a cake. I'm going to put candles on it. I'm going to blow the candles out. He doesn't have any. That's a problem with al-bara'a min al-shirk wa ahli shirk. I don't have a problem with Mother's Day, Father's Day, Halloween. Let the kid go out and let him do the Valentine's Day. How many of the Muslim shabab, the youth, boys and girls, believe in and celebrate Valentine's? Even the Muslim husband will give his wife flowers and chocolates for Valentine's Day. Not knowing in the deen of Allah, in this religion, our ibadat and our celebrations are distinct. Every time the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had an opportunity to see that the Muslims were still trying to celebrate the celebrations of the kuffar, Mecca or Medina, he said, don't do it. Now the point, ikhwani, is if you celebrate your birthday, your child's birthday, your anniversary, getting married, I'm not saying you're a kafir, and I'm not saying you're a bad person. What I'm saying to you is, al-Islam is going to fade away. The way the embroidery of the thobe fades away. Those companions, radiallahu anhum, they used to hold on to some celebrations of Jahiliyyah. The Nabi would come, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to al-Medina after the hijrah from Mecca. He would say, what are they doing? What are they celebrating? They would say they're doing this or that. The Nabi said, verily Allah changed this for you. He gave you the Eid al-Adha. He gave you the Eid al-Fitr. He gave you the Eid al-Friday. And he didn't allow them to do the celebrations. 2 points about that. Number one, if he was Hazir Nazir, if he knew the Ilm al-Ghayb, he wouldn't have asked, what are they doing? He would have known. But the real point is, he didn't allow the Muslims to celebrate the celebrations of the kuffar. So the point here is, what is Islam? Islam is submitting to Allah with tawheed, doing what Allah told you to do, and also freeing yourself from shirk and mushrikeen. What's the meaning of freeing yourself? Al-bara, al-wala wa bara. What does it mean? Does it mean we're anti-sociable? Doesn't mean that. Does it mean we can't be nice to our kuffar neighbors? Doesn't mean that. It means that we say to them, in relation to our deen, religious issues, you people can't give us nothing. You can't give us anything. Because Allah mentioned in the Qur'an, al-yawma akmaltu lakum deenakum. But in this day and time, the Muslim will sit there and look at you as if you are crazy. Now there are many topics that we can discuss today that are important. This is a holiday for our kids. It's important for us to address, what is the position in al-Islam concerning homosexuality? What does our religion say? That's an important issue, especially in light of the fact that legislation is about to go into effect where they're trying to allow same-sex marriage and so forth and so on. Teaching homosexuality to our children. That's an important topic. The administration of this masjid need to be doing something about it. The Muslims in this city, we have to hear their voice, especially in light of the fact there are members of parliament who are Muslims who said it's okay. I agree legislatively. That issue is important. But the issue that we're dealing with today is more important than that. Birrul walidain, respecting the elders. That's an important issue to mention right here in front of our youth, to remind everybody about birrul walidain. That's important. But more important than that is what we're talking about here today. And what we're talking about here today is the Islam that the Nabi brought, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Qur'an that he brought, and the message, what those companions were on, radiallahu anhum, it has faded away the way the thobe fades away. To the point that if one of them came back right now, hypothetically speaking, they wouldn't recognize Muslims as Muslims. So the most important issue in this religion, if someone were to say to you, Ya Abdullah, I'm going to talk to you about the single most important issue, right away in the mind of the Muslim, before the man says what he has to say, he already knows what's the most important issue on the face of the earth. What's the single most important issue in al-Islam? There's that individual who sits there and he says, well, what is he about to say? Because he doesn't know. There's another person who says, I have no doubt what he's about to say, because it's from the basics of the religion. Your child, your wife, your mother, if she was sitting here, before we tell them the most important issue in al-Islam, what conjures up in the mind of that individual? Do they know what's about to be said? The most important issue in al-Islam, ikhwani, is the issue of the tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. Al-Islam is going to fade away to the point where the Muslims lost this essence of our religion. What is the tawheed of Allah? What is it? Some Muslims believe the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam shares in the tawheed of Allah. The sheikh went to a country in Africa, poor country, the lights, the electricity goes out all the time, every day, multiple times. It's a poor country. I'm discussing, no one knows the ilm al-ghayb. You cannot worship the Nabi with a brother. I'm discussing it. He's arguing, mentioning that the Nabi knows all of the ilm al-ghayb because he's everywhere, omnipresent. In the discussion, in the middle of the discussion, the lights went off, as they go off all the time. When the lights went off in the middle of the discussion, he said, Allah, Allah, the Prophet made the lights go out. The Prophet made the electricity go out. Ya akhi, what religion are you on? The Nabi said, as Allah mentioned, قُلْ لَا أَمْلِكُ لِنَفْسِي نَفْعًا وَلَا دَرًّا إِلَّا إِنْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. I can't help myself. I have no ability to help myself with good or to push off evil, except if Allah Azza wa Jal allow me. Because of the tawheed of Allah, ikhwani, if a person was a homosexual, listen to me now. If a person was a homosexual, homosexuality is a kabira from the kaba'ir. It's against our religion. It's an abomination. Allah destroyed the people of Lot. They were coming from a place called Sodom and Gomorrah. And that place is the Dead Sea. To this very day, Fish don't live in that ocean and that sea, nor does anything grow in that area. Allah destroyed those people. You can't come in our religion and try to show Muslims that homosexuality is halal. Jews and Christians can do that. You can't do that with this religion because there's just too many dalil. The point is, if a Muslim was a homosexual, he's committing a big sin. But if he died committing that sin of homosexuality and drinking khamr, and he killed 100 of the salihin, and he died believing in la ilaha illallah, he's going to go to Jannah sooner or later. He may not even go to the hellfire. It's not up to me or you. Allah may forgive him and put him in Jannah. And that's because the only sin that Allah won't forgive is for a person to die making shirk. Allah won't forgive that you make shirk with him, but he'll forgive any and everything other than that. قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا. Tell them, Ya Muhammad, all my servants who have gone overboard and you made sins against yourself, homosexuality, murder, crack, wine, whatever, don't give up and don't despair from the rahmah of Allah. Allah forgives all sins except shirk. Cited al-Bukhaaree and Muslim in the Hadith al-Qudsi. The Prophet said that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala said, Ya ibn Adam, لو أنك أتيتني بقراب الأرض خطايا ثم لقيتني لا تشرك بي شيئا لأتيتك بقرابها مغفرة ولا أبالي. O son of Adam, if you are raised up Yawm al-Qiyam and you come to me, meeting me, and you filled up this whole world with sins, me, you filled up the whole world and you went overboard. Allah said, if you die and you don't make shirk, I fill up the whole world in forgiveness for what you did. At-Tawheed, at-Tawheed. The one who says, Ya Rasulullah, is in trouble. The one who slaughters for other than Allah. I went to Indonesia. In Indonesia, the Muslim man and the Muslim lady, they get married. They go to a mountain called the Mountain of Java, Java. They bring a cake and biscuits and candies and halawa, and they put it at the foot of the mountain, and they make dua to the God of the mountain to give them success in the marriage. How many Muslims are going to graveyards in Pakistan, Kashmir, in India, going to the graveyard, the darbar, making dua to other than Allah? Who's buried in the grave? The king, his wife, the queen, her son, the prince, and their goat. The goat, the goat, the goat. And the people are walking around, making tawaf around the goat. And they know there's a goat in there. You want to make money, Abdullah? You want to create a hustle? You want to make money? Go to the Muslim world. Go to the Muslim world. Slaughter a monkey, slaughter a dog, put his bones in the grave and say, this is the grave of Saint so-and-so. The Muslims are going to come and give you money. The Nabi spoke the truth when he says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, لا تقوم الساعة حتى تلحق قبائل من أمتي بالمشركين وحتى تعبد الأصنام. The Yawm al-Qiyamah won't be established until a group of my people, they catch up with the mushrikeen and they start worshiping idols. For 300 years, 300 years, the companions, the tabi'in, that bad tabi'in, for over 300 years, there was not a single grave in the Muslim empire that was built above the earth. Not a single grave. For 300 years. Not until the 4th century in Islam did the Muslims come up with the brilliant idea, build a grave over the dead person. Before the Nabi was dying, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he lost consciousness, he was dying, they knew he was dying. He said to the people, قاتل الله اليهود والنصارى اتخذوا قبور أنبيائهم مساجد. May Allah destroy the Jews and the Christians. They took the grave of their prophets as masjids along with Allah. He told Ali ibn Abi Talib, Ali, I'm going to send you to Yemen. I'm going to send you to Yemen. When you go on your way from Al-Medina to Yemen, every grave that you come to that's above the ground, level it out. Every picture that you see, deface it. Every idol or statue that you see, break it. That's our religion. And the Muslim comes today and he says, Hazir Nazir. He comes today and he believes that this is something from our religion. The Muslim boy today, he gets a tattoo of a cross on his body. Tattoos are haram, just like homosexuality is haram. But the boy wants to get on his arm some name. That's haram. But I understand he wants to be like this kuffar. Lakum dinukum waliya din. He writes his name on it in his body because that's what's cool. That's what people do. But a cross on your arm, where is lakum dinukum? Where's that at? At-Tawheed, at-Tawheed. It's the reason why we're sitting here right now. Allah didn't create us to get married, to make money. He didn't create us for that. Allah created us for what we're doing right here, to remind and to be reminded of the Tawheed of Allah and to live our lives in that way to the best of your ability. Doesn't mean you have to be serious 24 hours a day, that you can't laugh, you can't have a good time. The Nabi was balanced, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He used to laugh, he used to smile, he used to raise his wife, he used to play with his children, his grandchildren, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But he also brought that book that mentioned in the Qur'an, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ مَا أُرِيدُ مِنْهُم مِّن رِزْقٍ وَمَا أُرِيدُ أَن يُطْعِمُونَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ هُوَ الرَّزَّاقُ ذُو الْقُوَّةِ الْمَتِينُ. He created us to worship him. That Torah, the Injil, the Qur'an, the Zabur, all of those books, they were revealed for what? They were revealed for the Tawheed of Allah. That's the main reason. Allah revealed his kalam to tell Bani Adam, be on Tawheed, be on Tawheed. Allah Ta'ala mentioned, وَلَقَدْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيْكَ وَإِلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكَ لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَتَنَّ عَمَلُكَ وَلَتَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. It was revealed to you, Ya Muhammad, and it was revealed to all of the prophets before you. Revelation, it was revealed that if you or them, if any of you make shirk with Allah, it is going to destroy your deeds and you will be of those who are lost. If the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his brothers from the prophets would be lost, what about regular people like us? Regular people like us who make shirk, afraid from other than Allah, judged by other than what Allah revealed. Ibrahim salawatullah wa salamu alayhi, as Allah mentioned in the Qur'an, وَاتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ Ibrahim khalila. Ibrahim was the Khalil of Allah. Ibrahim in the Qur'an is an ummah. Allah told everybody here, tabi'u millati Ibrahim hanifa. Follow the millah of Ibrahim. Ibrahim. He made a dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. وَاجْنُبْنِي وَبَنِيَّ أَن نَعْبُدُ الْأَصْنَامِ رَبِّي إِنَّهُنَّ أَضْلَلْنَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ النَّاسِ. Oh my Lord, save me and my children from worshiping idols. Oh my Lord, these idols have sent many people astray. What about you and me? Ibrahim is the Khalil of Allah, and he made dua to Allah Azza wa Jal to protect him and his children. Who are his children? Ismail is a Nabi. He's a Nabi. Who are our children? Our children don't know alif, ba, ta. If you were to bring him and said, read Surah Al-Fatiha, he doesn't know because his father doesn't know and his grandfather and his, and on and on and on. Ibrahim was afraid of a shirk. It was impossible for Ibrahim to make shirk. Impossible. And yet that dua is there to teach us. The Nabi is sitting or giving a khutbah in front of the awliya radiyallahu anhum, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, and he said to them, أخوف ما أخاف عليكم من الشرك الأصغر. قيل وما الشرك الأصغر يا رسول الله؟ قال الرياء. The thing that I fear the most for you people is not the Persians, not the Romans, not the white man, not this, not that. The thing that I fear the most for you, Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, is the minor shirk. They said, what's the minor shirk, Ya Rasulullah? He said, showing off. He was afraid for that, for those awliya. What about you and what about me? Our culture is about showing off. Our culture is about, he got an extension, I got to get an extension. He got that car, I got to get a better car. He's wearing that, I have to. That's our culture, the culture we're living in. The popular culture of the kuffar, and inside of that, our own show-off culture. And the person thinks that he's safe. Wallahi, ikhwani, the way of Ahlul Hadith, without biting my tongue for no one. Ahlul Hadith, as Imam Ahmed said, the people who follow the Hadith, that's the way of Islam. The way of those companions, the way of the ulama of al-Islam, that is the way. But how many people who contribute, who connect themselves to al-Hadith, how many people don't know the basics of this religion? Go back and you ask his mother in the kitchen right now, hey, Jibril came to the Nabi. I don't say hey to your mother. Hey, Ummi, Jibril came to the Nabi His hair was exceedingly black. His clothes were exceedingly white. He put his knees to the knees of the Nabi and he said, Ya Muhammad, akhbirni an al-Islam. And then the Rasul told him, al-Islam. Ummi, what did the Prophet say? What did the Prophet say? You'll be hard pressed to find a mother of ours, a wife of ours, who can tell the answer. The Nabi said, al-Islam, أن تشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله وتقيم الصلاة وتؤتي الزكاة وتصوم رمضان وتحج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا. You'll be hard pressed. What percentage of the community will be able to say it? From our children, from us, from us. Al-Islam is going to fade away the way the embroidery is going to fade away from the thobe. But it doesn't necessarily have to mean that your Islam is going to fade away, or your Islam. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. Everybody here has the opportunity and the ability to protect the Qur'an to the best of his ability, to protect what he knows of al-Islam and the Qur'an from his own particular ability. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ونسأل الله تعالى الثبات والتوفيق. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله أما بعد إخوتي في الله. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam became a Rasul and a Nabi in Mecca, and he came out to the people for 13 years, he called those people to La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Those are not just some words that came off of his mouth. Those words mean a lot of things, and from what it means is lakum dinukum waliya deen. 13 years. He didn't look at salat, he didn't look at zakat. In Mecca, the kuffar were making hajj and tawaf around the Kaaba. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't look at that. He called the people to La ilaha illallah. 13 years. And then he went to Al-Medina. And in Medina, he started talking about other things. As-salat, az-zakat, al-jihad, al-talaq, al-nikah. But he never left in Medina as well. La ilaha illallah. So from the beginning of his da'wah to the very day that he died, La ilaha illallah. When he woke up in the morning, he said, Asbahna wa asbah al-mulk lillah. Alhamdulillah. La ilaha illallah. Wahdahu la sharika lahu. Lahul mulk wa lahul hamd. Wa huwa ala kulli shayin qadir. He started his day off with tawheed. He prayed 2 rak'ah before coming to the masjid. In the first rak'ah, Surah Al-Fatiha, and then قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. To the point he said, لَكُمْ دِينُكُمْ وَلِيَ الدِّينِ. And then قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. He came to the masjid. He read the Qur'an. Ayat of Tawheed. Ayat of Tawheed. Throughout the course of the day. Ayat of Tawheed. 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 When he went to bed at night. Tawheed. 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 And then the Muslim comes today and says, Hazir Nazir. He knows the ilm al-ghayb. Where do you get that religion from? Al-Islam is going to fade away the way the embroidery of the thobe fades away. So Ummatul Islam, the message here today is, don't anyone sit there and feel that I'm attacking you. I don't apologize. I'm not attacking you personally. This is the condition of our ummah. This is the condition of our understanding of Islam. In this city of Bradford, this city, the main masjid, it wins the model mosque. The model mosque. And they say ilm al-ghayb is to the Nabi. The Nabi is Hazir Nazir. Someone may come and say, hey, you're dividing the Muslims. I'm dividing the Muslims. I'm dividing the Muslims. I'm not the one who came and started saying it's permissible in this religion to curse Abu Bakr and Umar and Uthman. I'm not the one in this religion who came and said it's permissible to curse Aisha. What kind of religion is that? Islam has faded away. The people are cursing the same people who brought the religion. Your mother, your father gave you life. Bi-idhnillah. Your mother, your father, you turn around when you grow up and slap them in the face. And you say, you didn't give me life. That's why the Nabi said, may Allah curse the man who cuts himself off from his father. He says, you're not my father anymore. He changes his name to something else. In the past, Ikhwani, in the past in our religion, it's not permissible for the Muslim. My daughter, her name is Arwa, the daughter of Khalifa At-Thahabi. She gets married to a man. She can't call herself Arwa and take the last name of the other man. It's one of the worst things that can happen in Islam. This is Islam fading away. Like it's something normal with the Muslims. And this is a part of the issue of At-Tawheed, the legislation of Allah Azza wa Jal. My parents, kuffar, may Allah guide them to Islam. I ask Allah to guide them to the Tawheed and to the Sunnah on this auspicious day in this illustrious place right here. If any of them died on other than al-Islam, this religion didn't allow me to inherit from them. And they can't inherit from me. Two different religions, Allah's Nabi didn't allow us to inherit. Why? Because He doesn't want us to have money? Because He doesn't have rahmah? Because He wants to break the tie relation? No. Lakum deenukum waliya deen. That's what it means. So the call here, Ummatul Islam. Ummatul Islam. There are many things that are important. A lot of challenges in our personal lives, our relatives, the community. There's nothing more important than you establishing the worship of Allah. This administration here, every decision, everything that we do, everything that we allow to happen in this masjid, the main goal and the main objective should be La ilaha illallah. It shouldn't be your family, your tribe, it shouldn't be none of that nonsense. What's going to put the people's mind and hearts connected to the oneness of Allah. And don't be weak in that regard. Don't be weak from the many people who are opposed to you. You're dividing the Muslims. The Muslims are already divided because they don't say the La ilaha illallah that the Nabi was upon, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we ask Allah by His greatest name to bring this ummah back to the understanding of a Tawheed, and to bring us back to being the Ansar of the Sunnah, to bring us back to be the Ashab of the Hadith, to make us of those people who only fear the censorship of Allah, the anger of Allah, and not the anger of the friend or the relative or the people, whether they're Muslims or kuffar. May Allah Ta'ala have mercy upon us and forgive us all. Aqimus salat, yarhamakumullah.